Hello and welcome back to my channel. My name is Audrey and today's video is going to be just a little different. I am going to show you a dinner recipe that I'm having for dinner tonight, but I wanted to kind of sit down and talk just a little bit about my weight loss journey. And my journey did not start with Weight Watchers. In fact, it started a long time ago. And so I kind of wanted to talk about what I did, what tricks I tried to do that didn't really work out for me. Some people may relate to my past, some people might not. And so I really just wanted to kind of explain why I got started on Weight Watchers and what I love about Weight Watchers. From a young age, I developed a negative body image of myself, and that was kind of the beginning of me wanting to lose weight. It was actually in 5th grade, and I remember realizing that I was the thicker girl out of all my friends, and I soon realized that my thighs are thicker, my bum is bigger, and I'm not this petite size. When I stand and when I walk, my thighs rub together, and it was just a realization that I had that, am I always going to be this thicker girl? So in 5th grade is whenever I realized that, and it was hard because I didn't know why. I mean, in 5th grade you don't really know the way that the body works, so you don't know that it has to do with genetics and all these things that come into play about the way that you look. And I was just stuck on the fact of why am I not a petite girl? I thought girls are supposed to be small. So why am I, thicker than some of the boys that are in my class? And it was really triggering to me. So throughout middle school, it kind of, you're around that stage where, hormones are going, you're going through puberty. And so that part, again, things were growing on my body. So it was still in the back of my mind of, why am I not getting smaller? And I, was also growing up where a, nutritious meal for dinner was not given to me, and I had to rely on unhealthy food in order to eat. And so that was another thing that kept me at a larger size. And it wasn't until my freshman year of high school when I decided to kind of research ways to lose weight. So I was the age of 14, researching how to get skinny, which I feel like no 14-year-old should ever go on a computer and say, how can I get skinny? But it was a reality to me at that point in time. After my research, I realized that if I was not able to have healthy foods around me, then another way that I could lose weight was to be active. And that gave me the idea in high school to, be active, but to do something that I also enjoyed doing. So I tried out for the cheer team. I have always wanted to be a cheerleader growing up, and I did a little bit of gymnastics growing up. So cheerleading to me was a great way to do what I love and be active. So going into my sophomore year, I remember feeling very self-conscious of the way that I looked in a cheer uniform, that it sparked a desire to want to look good in a uniform, and it sparked a need to keep trying to lose weight. The summer between my freshman and sophomore year of high school was the biggest change that I've had in my life. I moved and was able to get more of a nutritious meal given to me. And I got on, birth control to help with certain things, and I became more active in cheerleading. And so I really started to slim down. And I was noticing it wasn't happening fast, but it was still happening. So I knew that, working out with my cheer team was working. And it also was helping that I was around, healthier foods. Well, the birth control that I was on was making me very, very nauseous in the morning. And to this day, I can't tell you why. My body just has a bad reaction to that. But every morning, I would get sick. And this happened from the beginning of my sophomore year to the end of my senior year. Every single morning, I would get sick. And my sophomore year, once school started, I noticed that as I was getting sick in the morning, my body was slimming down. And that kind of triggered an eating disorder that I didn't realize that I had. I soon liked that I was throwing up in the morning, and I felt comfort out of it because it quickly became a routine that when the birth control finally stopped making me throw up, I did it myself. And that lasted up until my senior year, when I fainted in front of the whole school during a pep rally. And that's whenever I kind of realized, hey, I have to stop. Like, this can't go on anymore. And so that is the big change that I went through with my weight. Realizing that, hey, this is working, but I'm passing out from dehydration. And that was a very, very emotional time for me and my family, because my family just thought that it was the reaction to the medication that I was on, but instead it was me doing it myself and actually liking it. And so I was very, very messed up in the head. So then comes college, and I stopped throwing up, and I realized that the counterpart to what I was doing actually was now making me gain weight even faster than how I lost it. And not only did I gain the freshman 15 in college, I gained the freshman 15 plus 15 more. And I went from a size 6 to a size 12 very, very quickly. And I know that there are some people out there that are saying size 12 is not even that big, but for me, having a prom dress my senior year, the size 6, to not being able to fit into any of my jeans and having to just wear leggings every single day, it was hard. And that was a really, really rough patch that I went through. And then my senior year of college, I found this diet called keto. It is a diet that basically puts your body into a state of ketosis, which, if you don't know what that means, it just means basically you are cutting out carbs and sugars out of your diet, and you are putting your body in a state where it runs off of your fat instead of your carbs to give you energy. And within the first month, I lost about 10 to 15 pounds. It was really insane how well it worked. The reason why I stopped a year later was because after a year, I was tired of not being able to eat bread, which I know that probably sounds extremely stupid, but I wasn't ever satisfied with the diet, and I felt like this shouldn't be a lifestyle that I'm willing to live if I'm never going to be fully satisfied with it. And I should be living a lifestyle where I'm happy to eat whatever I want. If I can't have ice cream or, enjoy a burger with the bun on it, then, every once in a while, then I don't need to be on this diet. So I stopped the keto diet, and I still felt like I needed something to kind of keep me on track and keep me accountable. So then I hired a personal trainer, and she was so amazing. She was so nice to me. And she taught me a lot about proper things that your body needs to fuel itself, vitamins, certain supplements that you can take. And she was probably one of the most supportive people that I've ever met. The hard part about it was that when you get off of keto, where you completely eliminate carbs and sugars out of your diet, the second you put them back into your diet, you're going to gain the weight back. And so that's what happened. And I got really frustrated because I hired this personal trainer that was supposed to help me lose weight, and instead I was gaining it. And I knew it wasn't her fault. And so I never got upset or frustrated with her. And she, throughout the whole time, remained supportive and constantly encouraged me. She understood what my body was going through. And the only reason why I'm not still with her is financial problems. And I would say another reason why I'm not with her has nothing to do with her as a person, but everything to do with the fact that I didn't have the mental ability to stick with it. And not in a sense because it was too hard, but she, had me track every calorie, every gram of protein, fat, carbs, all my macros, everything. She had me track it to the gram, and I felt that if I messed up by 1 gram, then I just set myself back completely. And it stressed me out so much that in the 6 months that I was with her, transitioning my body from being off of carbs to being back on carbs, and the stress from tracking every small detail, I only lost like 6 pounds being with her. And like I said, that has nothing to do with her or her system. She was amazing. It just had everything to do with the fact that I just wasn't mentally prepared for that intense of tracking and that intense of workouts that she had me do. So that didn't work out for me. So sorry, I had to switch over to my phone because I just ran out of memory on my SD card. So now this kind of brings me to my life on Weight Watchers. Is it working? Yes. Am I going to stick it out and stay on it and turn it into a healthy lifestyle? Yes. Do I get stressed out from tracking like I used to? No. It's very easy, and I have really, really, really enjoyed it. I know that I am allowed to have, indulgences and cheat days or cheat meals, and that's okay, which makes my outside life even better because I can enjoy going out and hanging out with my friends, which you did see on the last video, keeping me accountable. And I have friends that use it that keep me accountable, and I keep them accountable, and it's great and awesome. So thank you for listening and making it this far. Now you're about to see what I made for dinner tonight. Alright guys, I am going to show you what I'm making for dinner. So tonight was a little different. I didn't really have that much to eat today, so I had 23 points left just for dinner alone.
And so I decided to kind of, indulge just a little bit while still making it healthy. I am making tilapia burgers and sweet potato fries. And I have made this meal before. It is so easy. It's especially easy if you have an air fryer just because it cuts the time down on making these sweet potato fries. And as you can see right now, I am just chopping them up into fries size. I have two small sweet potatoes. This ended up being about 7 points for all those fries, which I thought was totally worth it. And then I seasoned them with garlic, salt, and pepper, and now I'm just putting it in the air fryer for 15 minutes ish at 400 degrees, and they came out crispy and perfect. Then with the tilapia, I chopped the tilapia up. I had about 8 ounces of tilapia that I chopped up into little square pieces, and I am putting it in my blender to kind of ground it up and give it the grounded meat feel, just so it's way easier to put into patty form. Once the tilapia was grounded up to the consistency that I liked it to be, I used panko breadcrumbs, and I used about 1/8 of a cup of these breadcrumbs. I poured it on top, and I used my hands to kind of knead it all together until I felt like it was thoroughly mixed. To solidify the hold between the tilapia and the breadcrumbs, I use a whole egg. The recipe calls for egg whites, but I didn't mind using an egg. It does make the patty go from 2 points to 3 points, but since I had 23 points left for dinner, I didn't mind using an egg instead of egg whites. For flavor, I do add some Dijon mustard and some minced garlic. I also top it with some salt, pepper, onion powder, and paprika. While I am mixing it all up, I'd like to take the time to say, follow me on Instagram. I have two Instagrams. One's my Weight Watchers and one is my personal Instagram. I'd love to have you both on there. So I am mixing it with my hands. I do love to get my hands dirty while I'm cooking. I think it's fun, and this could be something that you could do with your kids. Get them involved in cooking, get them involved in the food making, the kitchen. That's what I did with my grandmother, and it was so much fun. As you saw, I broke it apart into two equal parts to make two patties. One I had for dinner tonight, and the other one I'll either have for lunch tomorrow or my boyfriend Brandon will have it tomorrow. And it really makes the perfect size patty. I did leave mine on a little longer just because I kind of like that crunch on my burger patty. I don't really like it to be soggy and falling apart, so I left it on just a tad bit longer. I did 7 minutes on both sides. You feel free to do 5 if you don't like a little burn taste. While I am waiting for my patties to finish, I am going to decorate my burger. I used the Sara Lee 45 calorie bread, and then I did the Hellmann's light mayonnaise. I usually decide to skip out on mayonnaise if I don't have enough points, but since I had plenty of points to spare, I decided to go ahead and use it. And then I used the Velveeta sliced cheese, which is 1 point, and I did add some pickles on top because your girl loves her pickles. For a couple extra points, I did add some ketchup. I usually try and have some sort of dipping sauce, whether it be barbecue sauce, ranch, or ketchup, but I do skip out on it if I don't have enough points. Today, I was lucky enough to have 3 tablespoons of ketchup for 3 points, and it was so good with my sweet potato fries. This meal is a pretty high point meal, and it can be easily turned into a low point meal by using veggie straws instead of sweet potato fries, or having no bread, or not having as much ketchup. This ended up being a 15-point meal, and I still have 8 points to spare for dessert.
I'm going to end this video right here with a small disclaimer. I just wanted to say that I am in no way trying to glamorize my eating disorder at all. That's actually the complete opposite of what I'm trying to do by talking about it, but I did want to share with y'all my journey and the way that Weight Watchers has made me feel, and I don't feel like I need to constantly be thinking about food, whereas in high school and even throughout college I was constantly, and even last year I was constantly thinking about, what am I going to eat today? When's the next time I'm going to eat today? Am I going to eat something good? Am I going to eat something bad? Is it going to set me back, or is it going to be beneficial to me? Like, these thoughts were constantly in my head at all times of the day, and I was never able to fully enjoy my life, honestly. Like, I felt every moment of every day was revolved around food. And that's honestly why I wanted to make this video, to let you know that you can lose weight in a healthy way, and if you're not careful, it can become a mental illness. It can become a part of you where that's the only thing you think about. And so that's the last thing that I want for anyone to go through, and it sucked that I had to go through that 16, 17, 18 years old. So yeah, but that's all for today, and I will see you in the next one.